Hello Booktube and welcome to my bookshelves. I'm going to do the My Life in Books tag. Now I saw this tag over at Books and Jams and thought I quite fancy doing that, so this is my take on the My Life in Books tag. But before I start the tag, a little quiz for you. Now, for my birthday a couple of weeks ago, my wife bought me a blind date, and it is a blind date with a book, and you get 6 books, one a month. You put in what genre you like, and they will send you a mystery book every month, and they come wrapped up in brown paper, so you don't know what the book is. And on there it gives you little clues as to what the book is inside. So this book was a dark thriller with a twisted killer set in small town Texas. It's brutal and it is a crime noir. And I'll give you an extra clue. It was first published in the 1950s. So what book did I get as my first blind date with a book? I will give you the answer at the end of this video. So My Life in Books. So the first question is, find a book for each of your initials. So my initials are B and G. So the first book I have chosen is Bleak House by Charles Dickens. And I've chosen that because I am currently reading it as part of a Victorian read-along with Katie over at Books and Things, and she has set up a Goodreads group. I'll link down below, and we are reading as it was published in monthly instalments. So you read 3 or 4 chapters per month as they were originally published, and so it will take over a year. I think it's August, September next year by the time we actually finish. So I'll publish all those details down below. But yeah, Bleak House by Charles Dickens. And for the G, I have chosen Guards by Terry Pratchett. One of my favourite Terry Pratchett's. This is the first in the City Watch series. So if you're going to start with Discworld, this is a good one to start with, Guards. This is the first in a sub-series. And this tells the story of the City Watch, the police force in Ankh-Morpork, and the city is in trouble because there is a dragon on the loose, and so the guards have to defeat the dragon, and it is a very, very funny book. Question 2 is, count your age along your bookshelves and tell us what book it is. Well, I have counted my Agatha Christie shelf. So I have gone across so many years, and I've got to Sparkling Cyanide. So this is my age in publication of Agatha Christie, so you can probably work it out. Sparkling Cyanide. This is a standalone. So this is not a Miss Marple or a Poirot. This is a standalone, and it tells the story of some guests at dinner, and one of the guests drinks champagne that has got cyanide in, and then a few years later they recreate the dinner party to try and work out exactly who put the cyanide in the champagne. So Sparkling Cyanide. So question 3, pick a book set in your hometown or city. Now, in the 90s, there was an author called Steve Harris, and he released a series of horror books, and they were set in Basingstoke. And the first one was called Adventureland. Now, this was set in a fun fair, a travelling fair, which came to Basingstoke, and there is a travelling fair that does come to Basingstoke, and the fun fair, and obviously there's monsters and people go missing. But it was, as far as I can recall, I don't remember much of it, as far as I can recall, it wasn't a great book. I read it in the 90s, And it wasn't a great book, but I read it because it was set in Basingstoke, and it used a lot of places that I was familiar with as the background to the story. Question 4 is, pick a book which represents the destination you'd love to travel to. Now, me and my wife, we go to Stratford-upon-Avon a few times a year. We love Stratford-upon-Avon, and I found a book in a charity shop called The Dirty Duck by Martha Grimes, and it is a murder mystery, and it is set in Stratford-upon-Avon, so I had to read it. And it wasn't a very good book, I'm afraid. It started off well. There was a murder in Stratford-upon-Avon, and they start to investigate. But then they left Stratford-upon-Avon and went to London and various places, and to be honest, I lost interest in the book very, very quickly once they left Stratford. So I think I gave it 2 stars in the end, only because it was set in Stratford. But yeah, the Dirty Duck. I think I put it back into a charity shop after I read it. Question 5. Pick a book that is your favourite colour. Now, my favourite colour is purple. So I've got 3 books that I have picked out. 2 of them Shakespeare. The first one is Julius Caesar. I love the cover of these Arden editions. That's Julius Caesar by the Arden Shakespeare. And this is obviously the play, but you also get a huge amount. You get almost 100 pages, well, 150 pages almost, of intro, analysis, essays at the start, and there's commentary along with the text as well. The Arden Shakespeare's, yeah, are very, very good editions of Shakespeare's plays. Recommend those absolutely. So that is Julius Caesar in purple. Second one is also Shakespeare related, and that is Anthony Sher, The Year of the King. And these are sort of diaries that he keeps when he is taking on a play. So it takes from first rehearsals and up to performances and beyond. And he also is a very good artist, so he will sit in rehearsals and he will doodle some of the cast. And he will just... And so it's sort of a diary form, but he will also sort of add in his own little pictures as well. And this was when... So this is The Year of the King, and this is when he did the Richard III with the Royal Shakespeare Company. So that is Anthony Sher. And the third one, also in purple, is Going Postal by Terry Pratchett. This is one of the later books and features a character with one of the best names, I think, in Discworld, and it's Moist von Lipwig. This tells the story about how he has to take over the struggling post office in Ankh-Morpork, and the plots and the troubles that ensue. This is Going Postal by Terry Pratchett. Question 6. Which book do you have the fondest memory of? And that has to be Agatha Christie again, and this is The Sitterford Mystery. And why do I have the fondest memory of this? It's because this was the first ever Agatha Christie that I read. And I read this and absolutely fell in love with murder mysteries. So, really sorry about the lighting. The sun's come out, which is rare. The first time this year, I think. Actually, sunshine, so I've got a shadow across my face. So I do apologise for the lighting. Question 7. Which book did you have most difficulty in reading? And that was Les Miserables by Victor Hugo. Now, I love the musical of Les Mis, and thought, I'll tell you what, I'm going to read the book. And it is massive, and it is slow, and it is detailed, and it goes on and on and on and on. And I struggled through it. I did enjoy it, but or you can only read so many pages at a time before your mind starts to wander. It's a long, slow read, and that is Les Miserables. And question 8. Which book on your TBR will you feel the most accomplishment in finishing? And that is a recent acquisition, and that is Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurtry. And it is, again, a massive book. It is almost 900 pages of a Western, which I don't really read Westerns. So it's a genre that I'm not used to, and just a massive, massive book. So yeah, Lonesome Dove. And I'm going to put a second book onto that, and that is going to be, going back to the first question, Bleak House, because it is going to be a year-long readathon. So I think by the time we get to the end of that Victorian read-along, I will feel very pleased to have finished Bleak House. So that is my life in books tag. I'll put the questions down below, so if you want to do that tag, feel free. Comment down below, let me know if you're doing it as well. But before I go, the answer to the blind date with a book. If you remember, I got this, and it is a dark thriller, twisted killer set in Texas. A brutal crime noir, and it was published in the 1950s. And the book is The Killer Inside Me by Jim Thompson. This is a book written in the first person. I'm over halfway through, and it is written from the viewpoint of a killer, a small town cop in Texas, and it is written by the killer, or from the viewpoint of the killer. And yeah, and it tells the story of how he goes around murdering people, and it is quite a disturbing read at the moment, but I'm sort of enjoying it. But yeah, it's The Killer Inside Me. And next month I will get my second blind date, and I will let you know when I get that and what's inside. So that's my life in books tag. Thank you for watching. Comment down below please, and I will see you all again in my next video. Thank you for watching.